Ed, we'd love to hear from you again. What's one action point you'd suggest taking the next step to act on? Where do we begin?
I've done this so many times, you'd think I know what to do, wouldn't you? So easy bit is to make sure you retain your existing client, because often firms get so busy getting the work done, meeting their lodgement dates, and they forget about their existing clients who they may not be in contact with right now. And some clients come to you once a year, some comes to you once a quarter, some comes to you every month. And the research shows that if you're not in contact with your client more than once a month, so minimum once a month, then your clients are getting spoken to by your competitors in one way or another, whether subscribe to their newsletters and they're getting newsletters from your competitors, or whether they've attended someone's seminar or a webinar such as this. They're getting attacked, if you like, inverted commas, by your competitors constantly. And if you're not touching base with them at least once a month, then what happens, the research shows that when they're ready to change accountants, then they'll go talk to a person who's currently talking to them. And it might be just a timing issue. So the first point is to make sure you're at least touching base with your clients once a month. Now, if you're dealing with them doing their BAS once a month, and that's fine. But if you're not dealing with them monthly, whether quarterly or once a year, you need to get a newsletter going so that they're receiving your newsletter. Because if somebody else is, one of your competitors is talking to them, but if you're also talking to them, the competitors reach, right? So if they're reaching out, then it gets negated if you're constantly talking to them. But if you're not talking to them and your competitors are talking to your clients, then it sort of says that you don't care, whereas the other person is caring more. So there's a tendency to then lean towards them. So the first thing is to start a newsletter and invest into producing a quality newsletter. That's the first thing. The second thing, in terms of your new clients or building onto your new clients, is make sure that you start a CRM and you're building up that CRM of prospects, because they may not be ready to change accountants right now. But when they're ready to change accountants, you want to have keeping them warm by communicating with them and touching base with them. Yes, it does cost money to do this. And as I said, to build this garden that attracts butterflies, you've got to invest, a certain percentage of your turnover to build this garden that just happens automatically without you having to think about it. A really good CRM that you can put your prospects into and continue to market to them is extremely important. Now, most people just focus on a lead that's turned into a client, and then they ignore the lead that may not be ready to change accountants right now, and they just let that person go and it's gone, and they don't keep a record of them, or they don't keep in touch with them. And that's a big mistake. One of the KPIs for Chan and Naylor, so my own accounting firm, is the number of prospects we have on the database. So I want to see that growing. So we've got it to about 15,000 now. There's 15,000 prospects that are not clients of ours, but we continue to touch base with them, do webinars for them, newsletters, so that one day when they're ready to change accountants, we've done the work to be top of mind for them to consider. That's the work we're doing, and that's the work you should be doing if you're thinking about creating a garden that attracts butterflies to you. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point, Ed, to be measuring the growth of that database, and not just you potentially paid for that lead to come in, you haven't converted it straight away, but you've spent on it. So we really want to continue building on that. I love that idea of using a KPI for your prospects as well as leads converted. And Jamie, you've just dropped something in. So your CRM is Ontraport. So what do you like about that as a CRM?
Yeah, I just thought put that in there as an example. So there's lots and lots of CRMs that people can use. We've used Ontraport just because it integrates back to our website, and it also integrates to our newsletter. And then we can use Ontraport to send out invites of seminars and webinars as well. Kristy, the interface is pretty cool too, because you can set up the interface as in the laps, how I said earlier. So lead in, and then you can simply drag it across to the next column, where you've got to book the appointment. And so it's quite good like that. But don't have a favour towards Ontraport or any other. It's just that I think if you get a marketing person, whether they're part-time or full-time, they will need a tool that you can use, such as a CRM that Ed said. So that was just sort of like a tip that we use. And not only that, as Ed said, with your CRM, you can be adding prospects to it all the time. A lot of the time we'll get live chat inquiries on our website. websites. That's like another tip from a marketing or a sales process. You can have live chat 24 hours monitored on your website, and from that you can get leads from that. And so any names, any prospects that you get, if you can have someone put them in your CRM, and then you start dripping on them with your newsletter. And another tip is, if you do a newsletter, make sure the newsletter then, if someone clicks on it, it goes back to your website so that you maximize your SEO or your searchability. And that's worked really well for us as well in that process. I've seen some people have like a newsletter where it's just like a PDF or whatever, but you can be with it these days. So they click on it and it actually takes you back. If people look at, I mean, you can probably use our website example. They're very good at marketing as well. But if you look at our website and you go to the blog, they're all there. They're actually newsletters, but they're on our website. SEO does work very effectively with monthly new content.
Yeah, a great way to use both resources in your business, isn't it? That your marketing team, your marketing division will continually feed your sales division by investing in those kind of things. And in this digital world that we're through, then there are all these little tips and tricks, and same as even the way that you name an image that's on your website, that's searchable in SEOs. And, you know, it's definitely worth building into your budget to invest some time and money in looking at those kind of strategies, whether you put someone on ongoing or you just work with someone on a short-term basis. And I know a lot of governments do digital grants as well at the moment of helping a lot of businesses come through COVID. So it's not just for the businesses that we support. There are opportunities out there for us as accountants and bookkeepers to focus on those things too.